Hello, good afternoon. I'm Ashton McGowan, one of the co-chairs for the Noir ERG. Just going to tell you all a little about Noir if you're not familiar. So we are an ERG that champions Black voices throughout the company, through events, community building, and screenings such as today. So we're excited to have you all here. This is a very impactful film. Ms. Dorothy, it's a pleasure to have you in the building along with Ibram and Rachael. And beyond that, I want to personally thank Sujong and Devin who reached out to us as an ERG to host this event as they felt it would be in line with our programming and what we're trying to do. So Devin, I'll let you take it away. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming. My name's Devin Blackwell. I'm the associate producer on the New Yorker's documentary team. I'd like to thank you all for coming to support this beautiful film, and I'm so honored to be introducing such an impactful story, The Panola Project. The Panola Project tells the story of one resilient convenience store owner named Dorothy Oliver as she goes door to door to ensure all of her neighbors have access to the COVID-19 vaccine. And while COVID is the centerpiece of this film, it tells a broader, more intersectional issue about access to healthcare, and in this case, lack thereof in predominantly Black rural communities. And the Panola Project has had such an amazing run since it was first released last year. And we at the New Yorker are so happy that we were able to support the filmmakers in this way. So I hope you all enjoy the film, and I hope you stay for an amazing Q&A with a very exciting panel following the film. So give it up for the Panola Project.
Hey, Money, this is your grandmama. Hey, Jonelle, this is Dorothy. Hey, Tam, how you doing? Do you need my help? Hey, Janet, I was calling to check to make sure you have got your COVID shot. You want me to try to find out who got openings and let you know? Well, all right then, dear. We'll talk to you later now. Thanks a lot. Hey, Miss Naomi, how you doing? Doing good. I'm just working on this COVID-19 shot thing. Well, I won't know till I see how many we got. Because, they ain't coming unless we got enough. So I'm trying to just call around and kind of see, do you know anybody else that may not have it? Oh, my goodness. Oh, okay. So that way, okay. Okay, yeah, I need to get to him then probably. With your age, you 80 years old, and he definitely don't need to be in the house with you without the shot. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to get up with him then. Okay, all right. We in this rural area got to fight for our life, With this COVID going on. I mean, it changed everything. Even though we're a small town, it changed us too. And so many of them lost their brother, their sister, their mama, and their daddy. Panola is so far. To get vaccine, you gotta go 39 miles, I guess. And that's just one way now, ain't talking about round trip, so. And a lot of people don't have cars. So we're trying to bring it to Panola. We need at least 40 people in order for them to come out.
You had what, about
16 or 17?
1,
16.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah.
7, 8. Well, we have about approximately 25 people already written up.
That's close to 30. So that's good. So we'll just go from there. If we can't get the shots, we're gonna have sick folks. That's just the bottom line. This house up here, I got squirrel, but I ain't got the rest of them. Hey there, how you doing?
Yeah, we bring the vaccination to Panola. Will you take it?
I'm going to take it.
Okay.
And if y'all see somebody that hadn't been, knowing they hadn't been vaccinated, y'all encourage them.
Yeah.
You can call me, I'm in Jackson. I'm taking names and numbers at the store. We gotta get these shots because that's the only thing gonna help. It just 2 or 3 people getting it ain't gonna help. Everybody got to try to get vaccinated. You know, so we
I'm going to do my part.
just let the Irish know that.
Yeah, I'm going to let them know you got a list at the store.
Hey, how y'all doing?
You doing all right?
Yes, ma'am.
You done had your shot?
I just really haven't made my mind up to take it for real.
You think it gonna do something? I mean, what's your hesitation?
You
now?
had the virus yet?
Yeah, I done had it.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't enough for you to make your mind up? I'm gonna get you in a minute. This is what you need to think about, though. I got through it that time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take that chance no more. That's what you better I mean, serious, I would think about that. Cause you see it can hit you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wouldn't take that chance. I'd go
For a
ahead.
long time, I wasn't gonna catch it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So can put you on the list then, right?
I don't know, Miss
He
Dorothy.
hadn't made up his mind.
Ha! I thought I just made your mind up. He know he gotta take that shot because this stuff ain't no joke.
Have you had your vaccination? Ma'am? If it comes to Panola,
Yes, ma'am.
then you'll be interested in taking it.
Yeah, ma'am.
And she got a husband too, so go on put him down. She done talked him into it now. Look at he still test. Said, baby, come on with me, baby. My niece, my nephew wife, it hit her Friday on her birthday, that Friday on her birthday. When it hit her, it actually had a little cold or something. You know, had to like, oh, I'm getting sick, I look cold or something. And then she, a little worse the next day, she died Sunday night. You can't take chances. I tell anybody, don't take no chances.
I done heard people saying they get sick, but
Some people say their arm hurt. Their arm gonna hurt sometimes. Mine, I didn't have no problem with mine at all. I hate both of them. Didn't have no problem at all.
It didn't bother me. What's your name?
In this area.
Kimberly Cousin.
K-I-M.
Kimber.
I still can't believe you hesitate. Look at her smiling at me. You know I know you, don't you? You ready to take that shot?
you put me down.
Yep, put him down. See, I got him then. I'm good, ain't I?
You sure you gonna take it, Ladenzia?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, he made him out of me, Jackson.
How you spell your name?
L-A-D-E-N-Z-E-L.
All right. All
I
right.
guess I'll be ready
Thank
when
you.
y'all get them in, man.
You gonna be ready, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go do me some push-ups, get my arm strong.
Oh, my goodness. Don't stop laughing. We good to go then. Thank you, baby.
Yes, ma'am.
I just felt like I had to do it because the government, nobody does enough in this area. This area here is majority black. Kind of put you on the back burner. That just it. I mean, you don't have to put nothing else with that. That just it. I don't have to elaborate on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8.
We have a list of 24 people on this sheet, and it's 16 on this
That's
sheet.
it. We probably got right at 40 probably.
Yes.
Close to right at 40, so today. So you gonna try to get everything to them tonight or tomorrow?
Yes. I'll get them this information tonight.
Okay. What brought me to Panola, I met the love of my life. Sure did. He was driving big trucks. late one evening, then he had a bad truck accident. They said he will not last to Birmingham because his main artery is cut in two. I really thought if we could have got my husband to Birmingham, he would have been okay. It's just, I mean, that's the reason I work so hard. I'm serious, because it's in my heart to do what I need to do to help people. Okay. Hey, Fonzo, you ready? Hey, Miss Jackson.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good today. This woman probably been here. She probably been here since daylight. She ain't played, I tell you. Hey there.
How you doing?
I know this ain't not a hopper.
Yeah, you know.
Lightning, you still dancing like you used to?
Still playing music.
All right then. But we appreciate y'all thinking enough of your health to come out and take these shots, because I know by y'all coming, y'all see this is serious. So we appreciate y'all coming.
We appreciate y'all giving it to us. Because a lot of people don't really know where to go to take these vaccines.
I know.
Right now, because I didn't know.
I know.
Until they got in touch with me, and I'm glad.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. We want to get back to what? Norma, don't we?
That's it.
Lightning want to go to this, want to get a big party in his yard, right?
Yes.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. That's important. That's all right there. Well, you take care now here and stay safe, because that's what we want you all to do. That's why we working so hard. All right, dear.
All right.
Okay. This the one that lied. I done had my vaccine, and no, she ain't had it.
You came and then Miss Jackson came?
Yeah,
I told both of y'all a different lie.
I got your shot.
You okay?
Relax on, relax.
That's it.
See, a lot of them lie to be waiting till late to come.
I didn't want to get it. I was afraid. I had anxiety about getting it.
I understand that. A lot of people is like that. He's on his way. And Jerry Harrison, he done been here. Oh, she done been here too.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? How your ribs turn out?
All right.
Good. We're here waiting on you. Where are you? What you waiting on?
Noon ain't here right now.
Oh, okay. They're gonna be here till 12 now. You better not take no chances, baby. You better get it if you can. Girl, you got a little baby.
I'm gonna get back. I should come on back for 12.
Okay, all right then. Okay. All right, take it. Bye-bye. He said gonna try to get here. So we'll just have to see. How y'all think it going?
Great.
Great, good. I think everybody was pleased too, because I talking to a lot of them, they said, it didn't hurt. I just felt it, that's it. I said, well, go take some Tylenol, take another
They're
one
scared.
tonight.
They saw everything on TV, and when they see the little injection, they're like, what? That's all? We had a male to come to our clinic down there, and when he walked in, he said, y'all gonna have to hold me. Y'all gonna have to hold me. He said, I just can't do these shots. So I held him, and you know what he said? Girl, the way you holding me, I'll take 3 more.
No, he didn't say that, girl. So, I just hope the rest of them come, so they can get their shot. I tell you, still a lot of them out there ain't got it, though.
Yeah, we got 2 vials more. They got to come on.
That's what I'm talking about. We ain't got long. Lord have mercy. See, he ain't answering. That's when I said it just sounded like to me he done chicken out. I hate to say that, but I thought I had him. We ain't got much time. I just hope some of the rest of them make their mind up to come on, because we only probably got about 15 more minutes. So hopefully they'll get here before we end. You need to come on. Oh, here he come, y'all. But that's him, I think. All right, that's his car. That's him. There you go. You made it, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
We glad you made it. I was scared you got kind of a little nervous. I was kind of scared, but thank God. Well, that's good.
I'm not afraid of a shot.
Right. I was nervous you wasn't coming. You might not be. Here they come.
Hi, how you doing?
All right, how you doing?
All right, so I'm gonna give you your Moderna vaccine. So I just need you to relax. That's all I do. Don't tighten up. Medicine going in. That's it. That's it. All right. You can take Tylenol if you have any pain or discomfort.
Okay.
How did it feel?
It wasn't bad.
I told you that.
Yeah,
I bet you barely felt little stuff. How did your baby back ribs come out?
Well, it came out pretty good.
They weren't no pretty good. I heard about them ribs. Them things came out good. I heard about
Real
tender. I know they was. Woo. We glad you made it. That is wonderful. We glad you made it. I came to see you the other day. You ain't had your shot yet, I think.
I get mine at the nursing home.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Okay, good.
They gave us the outfit at the nursing home.
Because I asked your dad, and your dad had already gotten healed.
Yeah.
But now Woody hadn't got healed, and he didn't come that day. He told me he didn't want it. They got to think about their mom and dad.
Right.
Mm-hmm. My daughter wouldn't let my son come home. You ain't took no shot. You ain't come around, mama.
Well, they being safe.
That's right. They gonna let me say I couldn't take no chances. I can tell you, we got the majority of them vaccinated, and I feel good. We got that few that I'm gonna still work on. I ain't stopping until they said the work is done. I don't give up on them, I'll tell you that. I can tell you right now. Hey, Ann, this is Dorothy.
Hello and thank you to Condé Nast, the New Yorker, and Oxfam for putting together this screening of the inspiring Panola Project. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the members of this incredible panel. I have to say, Ibram is somebody I so look up to in the way that unflinchingly he confronts racism and inequality and really pushes America to meet a moral moment. I thank him for his words, his writings, his actions, and of course, Rachael DeCruz. You have created something that is so beautiful, so important. I would say it is urgent. Thank you for your advocacy and for your work capturing the tireless efforts of Dorothy. And Dorothy, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm grateful to Dorothy for recognizing her immense power to make progress in her community, to protect her neighbors from a novel virus sweeping the globe, and for her dogged, persistent determination to not give up, and as a result, nearly every adult received a vaccination in her community. That is the power of Dorothy's courage and something that should inspire the same in all of us. Thank you.
Yay. Hope you all enjoyed it. So good. Oh my goodness. I'd now like to introduce our very exciting panel. First up, and you guys can come up one by one after your names are announced. We have activist and author of How to Be an Anti-Racist. He was named one of the 100 most influential people by Time magazine in 2020. Dr. Ibram X. Kendi. Next up, we have one half of the dynamic directing duo behind this amazing film and the associate director of advocacy for Boston University's Center for Anti-Racist Research, Rachael DeCruz. And last but not least, the woman of the hour, the woman who is behind this amazing initiative, who out of the love and dedication she feels for her community saw to it that nearly everyone in her community was vaccinated, Miss Dorothy Oliver.
Well, I'm just truly honored to be here with each of you, but I'm especially honored to be here with you, Miss Dorothy.
Thank you.
And I'm just struck by something you said towards the end of the film. You said, "I don't give up on them." And I wanted us to start there because in many ways, so many people have given up on their community members. And so why have you decided to not give up on yours?
I decided not to give up on my community because ever since I've been there, I've been working in that community. And I know my community, because if I give up, they're not gonna do. You just about gotta push them a little bit. So I know if I've given up, it'd be a lot of sick folks, dying folks, because a lot of them don't even have ways to go. Even the phones don't even work, in a lot of cases. People have to drive distance just to make the cell phone pick up, try to make an appointment. And so it was no way. And I know it was nobody but the Lord, because I went to bed at night with it on my mind just before the shot started. And I would get up the next day the same way. And I knew it was nobody but the Lord that put it on my heart to do this. And I can't give up.
Can you just very briefly just tell us about how that happened? The Lord put it on your heart. And so how did this start in terms of you?
Well, it started just before, during the whole time before we started getting the shots, I was talking to people and encouraging them to make sure they sanitize their hand and make sure to wash their hands and everything. But it really started after they went to talk about giving the shots and everything. I said, well, I knew what I got to do. So that's how I got started. And I started calling even before they started the shots to let them know, educate people about it, and let them know how serious this disease is. So that's how I got started and went from there.
Definitely.
Making phone calls and taking them to get the shot. And everybody was real pleased about it. And that helped motivate me. Thank you, Miss Dorothy. We know if you said take it, it's all right to take it. You'd be surprised that so many said that.
Wow, and Rachael, of course, feel honored to be able to work with you every day closely at our center. And I was, of course, like many Americans, just truly blown away by this film. And so I'm just curious, how did you meet Mrs. Dorothy? How did you come across this true hero?
Yeah, she is a national treasure. I'm so grateful to you, Miss Dorothy, for all of your work and all of the lessons you've taught me. So Jeremy, my partner, and I were living in Alabama at the time. We were frankly depressed, tired, exhausted by the sort of state of the world. It was sort of shortly after we witnessed the insurrection at the Capitol. the vaccine had come out, and so there was a little bit of hope on the horizon. But we were living in Alabama, and it was a state with, continues to be a state with one of the lowest vaccination rates in the country. So folks just weren't taking the shot at the rate that we were hoping to see. And so we were like, okay, well, we could continue to sit in our rooms and just feel bad about the world, or we could try to go make a film about something that's hopeful, right? And something that could both selfishly inspire us and also hopefully inspire folks across the country. And so we were just reading an article and we came across Miss Dorothy's work, and we were like, well, this certainly sounds inspiring and beautiful. And, we tried to call the general store. The number that was listed online didn't work. And we were like, let's drive to Panola. And so Panola is not super far from Tuscaloosa. It's about an hour or so, I think. We made the drive and we just walked into her general store one day. We were like, hey, we heard about your work. And, Dorothy really, she just welcomed us with such open arms in the way that you see her do with so many folks throughout the film. We had like a 3-hour-long conversation with her. And, Jeremy and I had been mostly isolating. So this was like one of the longest in-person conversations we'd had with someone in a while. But it was just so clear, like immediately upon meeting her, how dedicated she was, how important and necessary the work was that she was doing. And she was like fielding phone calls while we were in there talking with her. People were coming in. She was like, have you gotten your shot? She's like taking every moment and opportunity to do that work that we see her do in the film. And so I'm just really grateful that she kind of let us come with a camera and document the work that was already happening. And I know will continue, has continued and will continue long after we're gone. So.
And what was striking, Ms. Dorothy, was just the respect that folks in your community had and have for you. How did you build those relationships? Because certainly so much has happened before this film in order for your community members to respond in that way.
Yes, I guess because I did so much even before, this even started, because I worked with the commission again, along with some people. So I worked with waste management for like 32 years. And what happened, we just tried to get them to, I guess respect is because I did so much. I hope in other ways. We opened up a daycare center. I worked with the community center, in different organizations. And then having a store helped a whole lot, because so many people made me even know a lot more of them, white and black, so. And I think that's what helped a whole lot, just everybody know me. I talk all the time. So that's another thing. I'm always trying to encourage somebody to do something. It ain't necessarily to be covered. Do you have a church home? You need to go to church. I just talk to them as I see them, and they all responded positive all the time.
Wow. And
I only had one that didn't act right, but I got them on board.
and Rachel, there were certainly so many ways you could have told this story, but you decided specifically to showcase Miss Dorothy.
Yeah.
And in many ways, she's indicative of Black women around this country who are doing that type of community building and empowering work. Was that part of the sort of intention?
It sure was. Yeah, I think I very much see this film as like a love letter to Black women across the country that are doing this work day in and day out, and frequently not recognized in the way that they should be. I think that there's just so much that Dorothy brings to the work in terms of heart, right? And there's just so many of these stories out there that we don't get to hear. And the way that she was working, she was working so fast that Jeremy and I were like struggling to keep up, right? It was like, we saw her one week, she called us like the next day, she was like, we're gonna go out door knocking tomorrow. Do you wanna come? We were like, okay, yes. And then it was like, yep. She set up the vaccination clinic. She just knew what her community needed, right? And so often we see Black women who are doing that work, who are kind of rolling up their sleeves, digging in, and who are stepping up to fill in the gap left by a lack of investment and resources and support from the government, right? And the reality is, like, it's not an accident that a community like Panola isn't connected in the way that it should be for folks to have what they need to succeed, to thrive, to live like a healthy and good life, right? That is a series of racist policy decisions that have been made over time that we really have to grapple with. And it shouldn't fall on folks like Miss Dorothy to have to do that work, right? We as the broader community have a mandate, I would say, to structurally change the way that our country is functioning so that folks like Dorothy, so she can get some rest.
Yep. Yep.
And just digging a little bit more into the film, there were moments in which you were talking to younger folks and trying to encourage them to take the vaccine. And as you know, within the Black community, within other communities, there can be these divides between older and younger folks. So I guess, what's your approach? Because I think in many ways, younger and older folks can learn from you.
Yeah.
In terms of how to cross those divides.
I think the approach would really help. You don't go to them demanding anything. You got to go to people gentle, nice, and then it's not a joking matter, but you got to put a little human in there, and you probably could see I did that, so. And that's the way you got to go to them, and the young people's, I didn't even have a problem with the young people's. The old people's real good, but some of the young people's a little hard to get, but the older people, they really was real easy, just got to explain it to them because they all know me, and just explain it to them and let them know how serious it is, and they was ready.
Yeah. And what was also, I think at one point, it stated in the film that you needed to get a certain number of people to sign up in order for them to even come. Was that right? Is that sort of speaks to just the lack of resources?
Yes, it does. It's a rural community. That's what we have to do all the time, and that's bad. We have to beg, and that's bad because we're in a rural area. And when I talk to them, Commissioner Jackson talked to them too, well, we can't come unless you get close to 40, We shouldn't have to get close to 40. We should have got 10. I had a guy in Tuscaloosa that wanted me to come work with him in Tuscaloosa. I'll come up there. You ain't got but 3. You know what I'm saying? But my own county, Sumter County, had guidelines and stuff to go by. And I think when this COVID-19 here, we shouldn't have no guidelines talking about when you come give the shot. Give it when the people's need it. We had to drive 39 miles. I didn't wait on them till I went on, got mine, and then I turned around and made sure everybody else get their vaccination, So it's rural area. Yeah. And we, like I said in the film, we got to fight all the time. Fighting right now, trying to get a storm shelter. Fighting right now with different ones, trying to get a better phone system in Panola. This guy told me, I can't make no appointment, Miss Dorothy. It don't pick up, my phone don't pick up at my house. I got to drive up closer up to Panola, where he in Panola, but you know how to be further out in the rural area, and they don't have access to stuff, So I'm working with Commissioner Jackson right now, trying to get that done.
It reminded me of early in the pandemic when one of the guidelines was encouraging people to wash their hands in their sinks. And there are people who don't have running water, right? From,
that's right.
In rural areas and even in Detroit, Michigan. Right. Rachel, in terms of this film, what are some of the lessons you hope that people take away, not just specifically as it relates to vaccinating people, but just public health more broadly?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that we can learn from Miss Dorothy. I mean, we kind of already touched on one. The first is just like, how do we have conversations with folks, right? And Dorothy just does such a beautiful job of meeting people where they're at, taking people's questions seriously, kind of genuinely engaging, connecting with them, and then trying to move them towards action, right? And I think that's about how do we get folks to do things public health wise, but also just any issue that's contentious in this country. I feel like that's sort of a really good model for how we can have conversations across difference. And I just want to quickly share a story. One of the folks that we met while Dorothy was doing door knocking, he was one of the younger folks, and he was the only person I would say in Panola that we encountered while we were there who was more on the vaccine, just kind of conspiracy theory side of things, right? And I learned so much watching Dorothy and Ms. Jackson talk with him. That could have very easily escalated to a yelling like match where folks are just like leave and are really frustrated. They had a really beautiful conversation and they all ended it by saying, I love you. And it was just like, that's the power of like trust and relationships. And that cuts across all issues, I would say. I also think we need more local leaders like Dorothy in office, right? Ms. I know. Ms. Jackson is incredible. She's like a beautiful bridge between the government and community, right? She works really hand in hand with Ms. Dorothy. And so that's another model too, and another lesson, right? How do we pair the folks who are working in government, who are committed to trying to do this work, with the community leaders who have really deep trust, respect, and care for the folks that live there and are able to really know what people need, right? Because so many times it's people coming in from outside trying to tell folks what to do. And we have all of the resources, all of the brilliance, and all of the resilience that's needed within a local community. What's frequently missing is like resources and then organizing.
Ms. Dorothy, can you just share with us just a little bit more about Panola as a town? I hear through the grapevine it's close to Mississippi.
Yeah, it is. It's close to Mississippi.
You could just share with us, you know, for those of us who are going to try to check it out.
I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, it definitely is closer to Mississippi. Matter of fact, my church is in Mississippi. My home church, you know, where I raised up, everything was in Mississippi, a little small town, Cooksville, Mississippi. But it's just a rural area, and coming into Panola, you got to try to come Tuscaloosa way or Columbus, you know, because if you're gonna fly in, you got a long way to drive when you get off the plane. So, but Tuscaloosa it's about 70 some miles from us. And then, of course, now we don't even have an airport in Tuscaloosa that you can fly. You have to fly into Birmingham, which is about, that's at 2 hours from us. But, and coming in from Mississippi, they do have an airport over there. It's about 55 miles from us. So, and I don't think you can come another direction unless you drive. You could come in through Montgomery that way too, but I'm not sure. I don't know, Montgomery even have an airport or not, do you know?
I'm not sure.
I don't know for sure, but that's where you got to come in, and you'll see the rural towns, some more rural towns as you're driving in, you know.
Wow. And, you know, you mentioned, of course, the struggles with the phone system. We've talked about the lack of health resources. Are there any other issues that your community members are facing and struggling with?
We're struggling with, been struggling for years trying to get a storm shelter. That's another job I got. To try to get, when the tornado, we get a warning, I got to get the community center open. I got a guy that I call, get it open for me, and everybody calling, where can we go? We do go to community center, but you know, that still ain't safe, you know what I mean? So, and then I talked to, I don't know who I talked to, one of the local governments about housing in that community, much needed in that community too.
And Rachel, is there anything else you want to add to that based on your experiences?
I was just so blown away at how like kind and welcoming everyone from Panola was. You know, I think in many ways it was because we were rolling around with Miss Dorothy. So I think when you do that, you're going to be okay, you know, and Miss Jackson as well, of course. But yeah, it just felt very much, there was just a sense of community there that I personally haven't experienced like in my adult life, and that I feel like I've always craved. And it was just really beautiful to see the ways that they came together to support each other, to take care of each other, right? And Miss Dorothy's retired and she's running this general store like simply out of like her care for the community, right? Because folks have to drive a really long way to get to the closest grocery store. So she was like, let's open up a little store here so folks can get what they need. There's just a deep love and care there that is it was so refreshing, especially, you know, it's like you spend time on social media. It's a really dark place there. We're all just yelling at each other online. And then you kind of go to places like Panola and you remember why it all matters.
And Rachel, also, it's, I think we're thinking nationally in many ways when people, particularly politically, are thinking of rural Americans, they're not necessarily thinking about them and their needs, and they're certainly not thinking about Black rural, you know, Americans. And so by you, of course, spending some time there, like what else did you learn, about Black rural Americans in small towns that you'd like others of us to know and understand?
Yeah, thank you for that question. And I think that was another thing that kind of drove Jeremy and I to make this film. It is like, right, when the mainstream media is talking about rural America, they're frequently talking about rural white America. And we were really curious how rural Black America was grappling with the pandemic, right? And what we found was just like deep mutual support networks being created, led by Dorothy, led by Ms. Jackson. Again, folks kind of, despite the fact that they had to like fight tooth and nail to like get resources into their community, they didn't give up and they took care of each other along the way. And I know that that's happening in rural Black communities across the country, kind of as we speak right now.
So Ms. Dorothy, I'm just curious, like what keeps you going? Like what drives you each day? How can I get your energy?
My husband tell me, sometimes he pull the rope. You need to call my daughter. She won't stop. I tried to stop her. She doing this, she needs this rest, And I know, I definitely got the energy. I just keep going, still working right now, trying to make some other things happen. And I don't know, look like I feel better when I move. I'm kind of like the young lady I talked to earlier. She's like, I said, I have to stay busy. I just, to me, I said, to stop, this need to be done, make a phone call. We need to try to talk to Senator Singleton to see what, I'm just constantly doing something trying to help the community. And I don't know where I get the energy, but I definitely got the energy. And I don't like sitting around. He can tell you I'm in the store, I'm doing something. I may sit there, he likes the TV. But anyway, I have to get on him. He likes the TV. He likes the Western. And you ain't did nothing today. So, but I like the stuff to be in order. I'm the kind of person, I need it to be right, And same way at the house. If I get up next morning, you're left dishes, like, didn't I wash some dishes? So I believe in putting 100% in. I just don't want to do anything unless I'm putting 100% in it. And that's just where I am. Same way with my church. I'm leading them the same way, trying to, make things happen there.
And Rachel, I'm curious, is there's something that I'm sure you had so much footage, right? Is there any additional stories that were close to making the film that you want to share that you think really continues to add to the, to the value and importance of this story?
Yeah, one would certainly be the conversation with the gentleman that I mentioned was kind of going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole. We were worried that in such a short amount of time that if we gave air to that versus like the many other conversations we had that were pretty different than that it would give people sort of a skewed sense of where folks were at. However, I would like to say that Miss Dorothy and Ms. Jackson kept on him over and over and over. Yep. And after 6 months, he got his vaccine, so he's vaccinated. And she's, 99% of the community is vaccinated. 99% of Panola, Alabama is vaccinated because of Ms. Dorothy.
Please believe us. You did amazing. Thank you so much for coming. All of your insight was so, so, so valuable. I'd like to thank you all for coming out to support the Panola Project, and I hope your support for the film doesn't stop in this room. As you hear, Miss Dorothy is getting this medal. We'll see to it. Be sure to keep up with the New Yorker documentary and everything that we have coming out for the remainder of the year. Thank you to Noir, Ashton, Melissa for being our partners in this. Thank you, Oxfam, Jackie. You all were so, so, so helpful in pulling all of this together. And yeah, thank you all.